Hey everybody, Alan Weber here from the Mayor's Office on Monday. I hope everybody had a safe and quiet weekend. Practiced social distancing, stayed at home as much as possible, washed hands, and maintained good health. I think right now, if I read the newspapers and the data correctly, we're entering a new phase of the coronavirus in Santa Fe and in New Mexico. As of today, according to our Department of Health website, we are at about 34 positive cases tested in Santa Fe County. That keeps growing, and it will continue to keep growing, which is why we need to take this crisis, this public health emergency, very seriously. Every single one of us can stop the spread of the coronavirus if every single one of us stays at home to the greatest extent possible, washes hands, uses sanitizers, stays 6 feet apart from other people. When you do go out, maintain social distancing, and to the extent possible, really be careful not to take your hands, put them on your face. That's how the disease comes to you. So 34 cases today. It's been growing. It will continue to grow, and we have to brace for it, and we have to do our best to prevent the community spread. That's our number one job. We also have to accept the fact that we need to be prepared in case of a surge. I was on the phone this morning with the county manager. They're getting their team together to be sure to be ready to respond. They're trying to make the jail less dense so that there's not a cruise ship kind of condition in the jail, and cooperate with us, with the hospitals in the city, to marshal our resources and be ready to respond as the disease, as the numbers grow. The biggest thing that the city has done was to activate our emergency operations center. It's a central hub on the campus, Midtown campus, where we've got our logistics resources, our information resources, a small team of people led by Regina Wheeler, our Department of Public Works Director, Kyle Mason, our Emergency Management Head, to keep track of all the resources that the city has focused on a very particular initiative that we are now standing up. And that is, as of Friday evening, we were able to put 5 people who are experiencing homelessness into rooms on the Midtown campus to give them separate bedrooms so they could stay safe. Last week we had 90 people living in the interfaith shelter in bunk beds. Now that number is down to less than half of that amount. The more we're able to spread people out and practice social distancing, all of us, people who have homes or apartments to go to, people who happen to be experiencing homelessness and need a place to shelter, we're able to reduce the density in those shelters at both the interfaith shelter and also at St. E's. And I believe that as of tonight, St. E's will be down to 0, and the interfaith shelter will be down to about half of its usual number. At the same time, Rich Brown, our Economic Development Director, has been working with the food resources in town, Food Depot, Kitchen Angels, Meals on Wheels, and Youth Works, to get food to people who need it. We're very fortunate that there is a very strong and heartfelt community that works to feed people in Santa Fe, and now Rich will be expanding it beyond seniors, beyond school kids who are picking up their grab-and-go lunches, to people who need food, period, across Santa Fe. So that work is going forward. The ability ultimately to have about 150 beds on the Midtown campus will relieve some of the pressure as we watch the coronavirus do its worst in Santa Fe, make inroads among our population. The homeless group is the single most fragile group. There are people who've been living on the streets perhaps, camping, not having a home where they could go and take shelter. And so to protect them, we've tried to thin out the density and then create, through Kira Ochoa, our Community Services Director, a very thoughtful process to evaluate people in the homeless community as they need help. So step one, reduce the density. Step two, if there are people who have symptoms, get them tested and give them a place to incubate in quiet, in peace, in quarantine while they get the results of that test. We've gotten great cooperation from the hospitals and the healthcare providers to get those tests done privately, discreetly, and to make sure that there is no transmission of the coronavirus in the testing process. We've got transportation to get our homeless community members safely to and from the testing site, and now back to the Midtown site where they can await the results of the test. If the tests come back positive, we'll be able to house people again in some areas where they will not be subjecting other people to the disease, and where they can run the course of the disease safely and, we hope, without any more adverse consequences. This is a very big deal, and it's a big achievement by our team in city government, Public Works, Parks and Rec, the transit drivers, the fire service, fire department, the police, all of these people pitching in, community services team, to get those buildings operationalized in a very short period of time. We originally thought it would take 2 weeks. They got it done in about 4 days, and at very low expense. Part of it was preparation. Credit again to the team of department heads and directors who had contracts in place that they could execute with people to set up the rooms, people to provide cleaning services, people to provide security. All of this needs to come together, and then the oversight of medical care, nurses, and health care for the homeless from La Familia to really make sure we're taking good care of that group of Santa Feans. But we are in the throes of this global pandemic now. It's very serious. It's worse in some places. We've all been watching the news to see what's going on in New York City. It's very, very serious there. They really don't have the resources they need. They don't have the ventilators. They don't have the gowns, the caps, the masks, all of which is essential to combating the spread and the treatment of the virus. Here in Santa Fe, we are, I think, in better condition. There's a great deal of collaboration among our healthcare providers, with our nonprofits, with the team that is working between the city, the county, the school district. Speaking of the school district, today is the first day of school, as Superintendent Garcia says. It's the first day where kids are learning at a distance, e-learning. And so a big shout out to the school district for getting that stood up before anybody else. We want to help, we want to contribute, we want to participate. Our economic development team is looking for 5 sites where we can add hotspots that will put out a signal so more kids can get online and get their education. We're also opening up even more resources through the library to see if we can add to the curriculum, add to the fun. It's education and it's entertainment in these times of stay-at-home safety. Great deal of effort to help our small businesses and our small restaurants and mom and pop shops in town. The economic development team has launched a new website, Altogether SF. It's got a great deal of information about economic development tools, techniques, classes you can take, loans and other things that'll be coming your way if you're in a small business, you want some help. We're eagerly awaiting the money from Washington, D.C. That $2 trillion bailout package has money that will be headed straight to Santa Fe. There'll be increased unemployment benefits. There'll be loans for small businesses. There'll be personal checks to people who meet the income criteria. We eagerly await that relief from Washington, D.C. and we're appreciative of our congressional delegation for all the work they did to make that happen. We're also incredibly grateful to the governor and her team, the collaboration and coordination from the Department of Health. The secretary has been outstanding. The only way we can be different from the rest of the country is by being all together in Santa Fe, and by working together, sharing our resources, making the most of everything we've got, taking care of each other even as we keep a safe distance. Technology is our friend and we should use it. Make a phone call, do a FaceTime or some kind of a Zoom call, whatever you can do to reach out to somebody you haven't talked to or seen for a while. Tell them you care about them. Tell them we're all thinking about each other. We want everybody to make it through this crisis healthy and safe and get to the other side where we'll be ready to go to rebuild the economy, put people back to work, and restore Santa Fe to its great glory. It's a beautiful place to go for a hike. I guess it was sleeting or snowing a little bit earlier today. It's a spring surprise, but if you can get out in groups of fewer than 5, go for a walk, use our trail system, enjoy the fact that we live in the most beautiful place on earth. Remember to be careful. Remember to stay safe. Practice social distancing. Wash your hands, use disinfectant, use sanitizer. Make sure that there is a distance between you and other people. If you do need to go out and go shopping, try to minimize your grocery trips. The less time each of us spends out rubbing shoulders, bumping into each other, seeing friends who we miss, the less we do that, the safer we'll be and the sooner we'll flatten the curve. It's very important to do your best. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Take this seriously, but use the resources that are available, like the online library, to continue to stay plugged into Santa Fe. If you want to know how to do business with the city from a distance, go to the Santa Fe City website. There's great information about new e-permitting through our land use department and other resources that you can take advantage of to keep the city going even while we stay separate and apart. That's about it for today, for Monday. I'll be back with some more announcements, more news, more updates tomorrow. In the meantime, please remember, stay safe. Let's break the back of the virus. Let's be the city different because we actually stay home, stay safe, practice social distancing, practice good safety with science, and staying clean and with good hygiene. It's the only way to beat this disease. I really appreciate your watching and listening. I appreciate the way we all care for each other here in Santa Fe and how much love there is in this city, all of us for each other. So please take care, stay safe, stay at home, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.